Hey, Zach here. I'm going to show you right now how to make $20,000 a month plus, definitely plus by scaling network marketing ads. All right. Now I'm going to go over the basics here for the first minute and a half. If you've already seen these basics, just either watch them or skip 90 seconds ahead into the video. The way we're going to do this is by running ads, so ads on Facebook or YouTube, to a application funnel. Okay, so an application funnel. I know that's ridiculous handwriting, whatever, you get it. It's an application funnel. Basically, it's a video with some information where people want to go ahead and watch the video. Then you go ahead and pull an application. I don't know what's going on with that color thing. An application. And then you go ahead and enroll them into your MLM. And you're going to also enroll them with what we call a system of growth. A system of growth is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a self-produced training or system that you are going to sell with your MLM enrollment. All right. So when you enroll someone into your MLM, you make whatever, 100, 200 bucks, whatever the case is, or zero, whatever, doesn't matter. And when you enroll them into your team, you're also going to say, hey, purchase this system of growth that's going to help you build the business. All right. That system of growth, you can charge 200 bucks, 300 bucks, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks, $3,000, whatever the case is. I usually use an example of $1,000 because I recommend having at least at 1,000. Ours is more than that, and it's a lot easier as it's more, but it can't be too high because you have to get a lot of people in, right? We get that. Okay, so this is the base layer. Now, I go through this in a lot more depth in other videos. I'll link a few of them down below, but I want to move into the new information that you need to know if you've already understood that. If you don't understand that, go to the other videos, go get it, and then come back to this one, or better yet, watch this and then come back again. So you understand this, and you know that every time you enroll someone, you're going to make, $500, $600, maybe $1,000 with this method. Now, what you need to do, let's just say you make $1,000 per enrollment, okay? Taking some liberties here, but you make $1,000 per enrollment into your team with this method that I'm talking about. That means you need to enroll 20 people a month, not a big deal, and you'll make $20,000 a month. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm sure it does. So how do you get from 0 to 20K a month or 20 enrollments per month? Well, you're not going to just generally jump from 0 to 20. You're going to make a few stops along the way. And most people generally get stuck in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month mark. And then another group of people generally get stuck around like 5 to 10 grand a month. And then, hopefully they break into 20. But a lot of people get stuck at 10 or below. And I'll tell you right now, if you're making nothing, it sounds good to make 10. It's not cool to make 10 for very long. Okay, you want to break past it. So I'm going to show you how to break past it. And really, I'm going to show you how to break past 0. You got to do stuff to get past 0. This is for you if you're a little past 0, okay? You're a little past 0 and you're kind of stuck in that $2,000, $3,000 a month mark where you're just doing enough, you're just making enough to be pissed. We want to get past that point. So the first thing I want to tell you is that it's easier to go fast. It's easier to go fast, all right? There's a law of scale at play here, a law of scale. So think about this for a moment. You are riding on dirt bikes and these things called whoops, right? There's these little whoops that you go over. And the only way to get over them safely is to lean back and pin the throttle and go super quick. When you're riding a horse, if you're riding a slow trot, it beats you up. But if you start galloping, it's a lot smoother on you. If you're only making, let's say you're making a 20% profit margin on your business. Well, 20% profit margin on, let's say, $10,000 of business, that's only $2,000 in profit. But 20% profit margin on $1 million in business, that's a $200,000 profit. You get it? So scale matters. So if you are only making, let's say you're only getting a return on ad spend of 1.5, which is not that good. Let's just pretend it's a 1.5 return on ad spend. So you're getting a 1.5 return on ad spend. If you're only spending $1,000 a month, you're only making $1,500. You only made a $500 net profit. But if you're spending $100,000 a month on ad spend at a 1.5 return, that is $50,000 a month of profit. That's a much different scenario, and it's the same exact variables. It's just bigger money, bigger spend. That's it. So it's a lot easier to go fast. Here's another example. Let's just say it takes you 20 leads to enroll one person. Oh, Zach, it wouldn't take me listen, just calm down. Okay, if you've never built a business like this, it's probably going to take you more leads than you think to start closing people because you've not done it like this. You've been talking to people that are not from here. So let's just say it takes you 20, and that would be a good close rate. 20 front-end leads, not applications, but front-end leads, takes you 20 front-end leads to close one. Okay, fine. Well, what if you can only afford 20 leads a month? That means you're only closing one person a month. Do you know how much willpower it takes to stay in the game consistently for 4 weeks and not lose heart and keep the same levels of skill and motivation? It takes a lot. And you only get one sale out of the deal. You only get one enrollment from this whole thing. It's a lot easier to work 20 leads a week, and it's actually a lot easier to work 20 leads a day. It's much, much easier because you're constantly in motion. You're constantly going after it. You're constantly sharpening your skills. And instead of enrolling one person a freaking month, you're enrolling one person a day. It's a totally different ball game. Your profits are far higher, your skills are far sharper, and you have a lot more fun. It's way easier to go fast. Some people, I'll ease my way into it. You will not ease your way into anything. You will not, I promise you. Number 2 is consistent reinvestment. Reinvestment. And I know I'm not saying this so that you buy my programs. I'm not saying reinvest in programs or training. Okay, contrary to what most people reinvest, they teach you about reinvestment and then they give you something to reinvest in. I'm not talking about reinvesting into more training or programs, although you can do that. I'm talking about reinvesting into your ads, into your leads. That's what I'm talking about. Push more ads out. What most people do is they eat their seed. So don't eat your seed. See, if you put, let's just say $1,000 into ads, right, over the course of whatever period of time, let's just say a month, you're just getting started, and you receive back $1,200. So you have $1,200. So you've made $200 in $1,200 gross. You have $200 in profit. So you put $1,000 in, you have $1,200 out. Okay, you barely made a profit, but you got your money back. Plus, you made $200. You know what most people do? They start eating the seed. Cool, I made $200 profit. I'll go out and buy a new pair of headphones. I will go out for a dinner. I'll go out and buy an iPad. I'll buy a new phone. I'll do this. They'll eat the seed. Or worse yet, they eat the $1,000 original seed too. They spend it on a bill or they spend it on this or that. Most people spend money on the most obscene things ever and then they justify it logically. They're like, oh, well, I needed the new set of headphones to make my calls better. Guys, we went from 0 to 20,000 a month, almost 20,000 a month in profit, and I was making my calls on a pair of wired headphones. This was far after Bluetooth things were available, okay? I had wired Beats headphones from like 5 years prior, and I was still using those things. Our top guy, he could make $400,000 this year in his second year. He was using wired headphones that came with his phone for up until a couple months ago. My bottom line is don't eat your seed. Do not eat your seed or you're going to screw yourself. Here's what you do. You reinvest the whole thing. So in my example, you take the $1,200 and you put all $1,200 back into ads. When you make another sale, you got another $1,200 back. You put it all back into ads. And you completely reinvest every single time until you have point number 3. Point number 3 is a 3 to 4 week working cycle. A 3 to 4 week working cycle. So if you can hit your goals, most people in our team can hit their goals if they're spending $2K a week. If they're spending $2K a week on ads with conversion rates, things like this in place, they can make about $20,000, $24,000 a month in profit, okay? So they need to have about 3 to 4 weeks of that at $6,000 to $8,000 a month, or $6,000 to $8,000 total in a reserve, a working cycle. So what that means is no matter what happens this week, I'm going to reinvest next week. So if I put $2K in right now and I don't get it back this week, next week I'm still going to put another $2K in. And if I don't get it back this week, I'm going to put another $2K in. I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. And again, you're using your brain here. You're going to make sure that you have something that works before you start doing this. But once you know you have something that works, you're going to reinvest every single week into your ads, every single week without fail. Because sometimes you could have 10 people in a row that all have money, they all want to join, and boom, they all get in. And then you get the next 10 people in a row, and every single one of them is broke, Every single one of them doesn't have money to invest. They think this is a terrible idea, and you're questioning if this is the right thing to do. When you go through those droughts, you have to keep reinvesting because you're just going through a cycle. You're going through an ebb and a flow, and if you die in the valley, you're dead. So what most people do is they're high in the highs, and they spend their money, and they eat their seed. Then they end up in a valley because that's just the way business works. And you know what they do in the valley? They stop because they're stupid. You're not stupid. I'm talking about them. So don't be like them. Be like you. Be smart. You need a 3 to 4 week working cycle. And another point is this, is don't make micro decisions in a macro business, okay? Now, this is relative, but this business operates in months, not days, not weeks. Now, I know a lot of network marketing companies, including ours, pay out weekly. We pay our reps out weekly for affiliate commissions as well. That's amazing. However, the business works in months. Now, you generally have to stay motivated in weeks, and you have to motivate your team in weeks. But you have to use your brain to make macro level calls, meaning monthly level calls. And as you get bigger and bigger, even longer than that. What I'm saying is don't let a down week cause you to make a macro choice to shut your ads off. If you have a month or 2 or 3 in a row that are messed up, well, now we might need to make some calls. But most people just have a bad day, a bad week, and they start making macro level calls. So don't be micro problematic with a macro level business. Just like a day trader is not going to, you get the picture, right? A day trader, they make daily decisions, but if you are a buy and hold type of person and you're buying for a year at a time, if you looked at what the day traders were doing, you would shoot yourself. So you don't do that kind of stuff. You keep your eye on where you should keep your eye. All right? Lastly is don't pause when wait for something new. So we're all excitable as network marketers. We love seeing new things come out. When new things pop, don't pause your thing that's feeding you. My point is treat this like it's your full-time income even before it is. If this was your full-time income, you wouldn't pause your ads unless you had a really, really, really good reason for it. Really good reason for it. You don't just shut the doors of your business because you had a bad week. If you owned a physical location, you wouldn't just shut the doors because last week sucked. No, you would know that the only way to get out of last week is to keep the doors open. But what a lot of people do that aren't full-time, that run online businesses because they don't have the vision to see that it's a real business, what they do is they have a bad week and they shut the doors, they pause. Or worse yet, they're like, ooh, something new and shiny is coming out. Oh, I just heard that TikTok ads could be releasing soon and getting better in their functionalities. I just heard this is coming out. I heard this new lead source will be available. I'm going to pause and literally shut the doors to my business until I figure it out what that is. That is the worst thing that you can possibly do. The worst thing. I don't think there's a better analogy than the physical business. If you owned a bakery and you had a hard week, you had a hard month, the only thing that you would think to do to get out of that hard week, hard month, is to open the doors again and be more aggressive in your business. That is the only thing you can do here. And if you don't treat it like that, you won't go full time. The world will not yield that fruit to you if you don't treat it like that in advance. All right? So anyway, hopefully this makes sense. This is how to make $20,000 a month with network marketing ads. Down below, I'm going to drop a few tactical videos on explaining this top piece in a little bit more depth for you if you haven't done so yet. So guys, if you found value in stuff like this, do me a favor, let me know in the comments below. Like the video. It lets me know to make more training like this for you. With that, have a great day.